What's up, viewers? Welcome to this week's episode of Kendall Live. I'm your host, Kelsey Fama.
I'm EJ Paras.
And I'm Dan Hitchin. Thank you for coming to view our final Kendall Live episode. Today we're going to be...
Of the semester.
Today we're going to be talking about the genre folk music.
Folk, yeah.
Which has a rich lyrical and cultural history. From Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie to modern acts like the Lumineers, folk has always been a way for artists to voice their opinions, to preserve history and tell stories. We have a great show for you guys today. We have a scenic session from musical act Water Street. Stay tuned.
Alright guys, so let's get the discussion started, I guess. So in the 60s, folk really came into the mainstream as popular Vietnam protest music. How do you guys think folk has changed today, and what would you say characterizes modern folk music?
Okay, so I have like a personal little anecdote for you guys.
Care to share?
I would love to share.
All right.
It's pretty relevant for me because at the end of Thanksgiving, I was talking to my uncle, and for some reason, Woody Guthrie came up as we were saying goodbye. And he mentioned, again, I don't know how we got to this conversation, that Woody Guthrie had written on his guitar, "This machine kills fascists." Which,
Interesting.
again, I don't remember how he got to that topic, but
I'm kind of wondering what wisdom he was trying to impart on
me being dense and needing 5 minutes to analyze anything, I didn't know what he meant at first. So he explained it to me, and it made perfect sense to me afterwards. And I mean, Woody Guthrie wrote like "This Land Is Our Land." Like he was one of the forefathers of folk music, and a big part of his folk music was criticizing the leaders of the day, the politics of the day, and I think that was a huge factor in folk music. The fact that it was sort of like the idea of like the common person, the ordinary guy, kind of voicing his grievances, kind of having a voice. Even today, it still stands true. However, not as much, I feel like.
Do you have an example of why you think it's true today?
Well, I think an example, Father John Misty is someone who is constantly criticizing mainstream ideas, mainstream artists. He criticized another of a band that I think is good. I know you think is good, the Lumineers. I think we even have we have the album
right there.
Yeah, Cleopatra. He criticized their music, so I think it's a way for artists to voice their opinions.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
He's pretty outspoken. It's interesting because I feel like he's gaining popularity, so I wonder how he feels about his movement into sort of the mainstream. Also, I read something once that Chipotle asked him to do a song for one of their commercials, and he told them, "I don't want any of your burrito money."
It's true,
So he's standing up to the man.
He is.
Yeah.
But another thing
it's like folk or punk.
I think punk has taken, I mean, this isn't a punk episode, but I think punk has kind of taken the helm of political commentary today.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of folk today focuses on love nowadays, but I think it still keeps like a storytelling aspect, and I think there is still examples of, cultural criticism.
When I think folk, I think even if any subgenre of folk or wherever branched off to now, folk rock, folk punk, even folk metal, electronic folk, all that stuff, they still have that lyrical component of, just being genuine and kind of relatable.
It's probably moved from politics more into emotions and honesty in that way. It's definitely less political than it used to be, which in my opinion, I feel like as folk has cemented itself more into the mainstream, I think folk artists have realized more that they can kind of capitalize on this idea of representing the common man instead of actually being a voice for the common man. And I think that to an extent, artists should use their platform So I'd like to see more artists like Father John Misty who will, tell Chipotle to F off, and even though I like Chipotle, but like stuff
You
like
love
that.
Chipotle.
I don't know.
No, yeah,
I'd
that's
like to
true.
see it get more political, because I think that when people are afraid to, share their opinions and be polarizing maybe, I think we lose something important in pop culture.
Yeah.
But on to the subject of electronic folk, Bon Iver released his album 22 a Million.
22 million.
A significant move away from his earlier sound.
Right.
So a lot of people have been dubbing it folktronica. So what do you guys think about that and, the fusion of electronic and folk music? Do we like it? Do we not like it?
You want to start? You want me to
Thoughts?
start?
I'll start. I know you really like Bon Iver's new album, so I'll hand you the torch soon. But I'll just say something quick. I really do like it a lot. I really like when artists kind of experiment, combine things. And I think it's interesting that a genre like folk, which is supposed to be like so meaningful, like have so much to it, just meaning-wise, he combined with a genre like electronica, which is criticized really for not having that emotional aspect, that the meaning behind it. But I think he did it perfectly and was able to capture both strong points of both genres, and somehow just fit perfectly.
Yeah. What about you?
Good
EJ?
stuff, Dan. Personally, Dan already said it. I'll say Bon Iver's 22 Million is probably one of my top 3 albums of 2016.
Okay.
Something about Bon Iver is that he's always been very honest with his, I've been throwing that word a lot this episode, very honest with his lyricism, and you can still see that in this album. And he kind of masks some of his emotions through the different vocal effects he has in some songs, like auto-tune and different vocalizers that he uses throughout the album, and you can still feel the emotion and the pain in some of his lyrics, even with the effects. And that's kind of what I think folk is about, because folk is, like we were saying before, honesty and just, being relatable to people. There's love lost on this album, there's love gained even, and some of my favorite songs are very, very different than what typical folk is. Like my favorite song on the album is 715 Creeks, and that is a song very reminiscent of Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap, and he just uses a vocal changer to kind of just communicate the theme of that song. Some other good songs are 666, 8 Circle, 29 Stratford Apartments is probably his closest song to actual folk. And but all in all, it's even getting Grammy love. It just got nominated for Best Alternative Music Album, so even the Grammys aren't sure what to categorize it as, so it's just alternative now. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, and I think it just shows that folk is malleable, it can change, and even the giants of the scene, like Bon Iver, you could say, is one of them at the moment.
Definitely.
And it is capable of change, and most people, I guess, are willing to accept it, or at least give it a chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a game changer, I
Yeah.
would say. On the subject of Imogen Heap, I wonder if he used any similar instrumental techniques as her, and that, have you seen, she uses this like glove thing to do her music and just kind of waves her hands in the air and all these effects come. It's really cool. I don't know. Subjectively, I don't like the album that much.
That's fine. That's fine.
I just I listen to folk music because I don't really like electronic music. I don't think I will ever like electronic music. But I definitely respect that we can take two polar opposites and fuse them together in a way that a lot of people think is successful.
Right.
I like that he didn't sell out or anything, he didn't abandon the lyrical honesty or anything that's a keystone of folk music. All right, great discussion, guys. With that, let's head over to see our Twitter countdown this week with Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda Brecher. Welcome to Kendall Live's Twitter Countdown. This week we'll be counting down the best modern folk albums. Damien Rice's 2002 album O is fueled of emotion. From start to finish, it's fueled of intensity. Over the years, tracks such as Blower's Daughter and Volcano have gained popularity. However, other tracks such as Cannonball and Amy deserve attention as standouts on the album. O comes in 4th place this week on our countdown. In third place in our countdown is Iron and Wine's 2009 album, Around the Well. The album is packed, it contains 23 tracks, and is a double album. Some of Sam Beam's best tracks are on here, including Trapeze Swinger and his cover of Postal Service's Such Great Heights. This album comes on third on our countdown.
Hi, I'm Connor from Water Street, and this is a cajon. Cajon is a Peruvian box drum and percussion instrument that you play with your hands. It has 3 different tones: the bass tone down here, the high tone, and the slap tone. Now this one has snares on the inside, so it kind of sounds like a snare drum. But this model, you can adjust the snares or turn them off entirely to get entirely different sounds out of it. So now you'll hear there's no snares. So you can use that for all different kinds of music to get whatever kind of texture you want to go for.
And now for an exclusive scenic session with Water Street.
I'm Dave.
Connor?
Millie?
We are Water Street, and this is Better Off Alone. When you are.
You got it.
1, 2, 3. Fool me once, fool me twice. The tears I shed, well, they shed some light on your twisted heart that scarred my own and showed me the lies that I had known. Thanks for the memories, thanks for the memories, thanks for the misery, 'cause I'm better off alone. She draws you close with her subtle grin, but it's someone else that she's tangled in. She holds all the cards, she makes all the rules, 'cause she's the queen of hearts and you're the king of fools. Thanks for the memories, thanks for the memories, thanks for the misery, 'cause you're better off alone. You pour the scent of innocence, you play the victim every time. Like a fool, I believe. Now I'm leaving you behind. The worst to you was the best thing that happened to me. The curse to you was a saving grace for me. The worst resolution, the best kind of clarity. The worst to you, the best thing for me. Better off alone. She'll fool you once, she'll fool you twice. But the tears you'll shed, well, they'll shed some light on a twisted heart that she calls her own, and shows you the lies that you had known. Thanks for the memories, thanks for the memories, thanks for the misery, 'cause we're better off alone.
Great scenic session. Now back to Amanda with the rest of our Twitter countdown.
Sufjan Stevens' 2015 album, Carrie and Lowell, was this week's runner-up. Over the years, Sufjan has embraced a variety of different styles, from church hymns to the softer sounds on Carrie and Lowell. On the album, he deals with themes of memory, faith, and family. Some of the standouts on this album include Deaf with Dignity, Should Have Known Better, and No Shade in the Shadow of a Cross. Bon Iver's debut album, Forever Forever Ago, comes in first on our countdown. This album features one of Bon Iver's most popular tracks, Skinny Love, which went certified gold. Most of this album was recorded in a remote cabin in the middle of Wisconsin. This album set up Bon Iver for his 2012 Grammy wins. I'm Amanda Brecher. See you next time on the Kendall Live Twitter Countdown.
Hi, I'm Millie of Water Street. This is a mandolin. It's a really neat little instrument. It's kind of like a violin. It's the same notes. You have G, you have D, you have A, and you have E. Except it's double string for each, so there's 8 strings on here total. And there's a lot of different ways to make chords. You can put your finger down to simulate this thing, a capo. But there's a really easy one called E. No, G, this one. You put your 2 fingers on the last 2. It's used in a lot of songs. It sounds very nice.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of Kendall Live. If you like what you saw, like us on Facebook, TCNJ Lions Television. Email us at ltv@tcnj.edu if you want to come through, be a part of the show. On behalf of everyone here, I'm EJ Paras.
I'm Kelsey Fama.
And I'm Dan Hitchin. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Happy holidays.